Needless to say, we as a group, collectively, are immensely excited that we're playing, that we'll be playing next week. And we've talked about why you go to a place as a basketball player with an opportunity to do what we're doing now. And the nice thing about our group is they listen and they buy into we can be special, we can be better than expected, we can accomplish things that have never been accomplished. So that's been our theme. We've been quiet about it, and we still want to be quiet about it, but we're not surprised that we're still playing. Some people might be, and some people might say, well, you know, they got lucky or whatever, whatever. We're not surprised. We think we're good enough to play with anybody. And X will get a lot of the accolades. He's been special and fantastic, but we have a team. Josh was the guy, when he chose to come to San Diego State, we as a staff said, the missing piece to our team. And he has provided that for us. He had 13 rebounds tonight. He's so dynamic as to how he goes after balls, and that wins. And Polee, who did not play in some games, and it wasn't injured. He didn't play in the Arizona game. And he's our sixth starter. He's done things to maintain a balance and a readiness that shows in the locker room. And I use him as an example. Be ready. Dwayne has always had a smile on his face and played for the team. And that's why we're winning, because we got a team. And we're all excited to now be moving on to the Sweet 16.
Steve, for those of us who aren't familiar, can you give us the Cliff Notes version of Xavier transferring from Washington State, how you got the call?
It's a funny business we're in, and you never know what's around the next corner. We recruited X. We recruited Xavier while we were recruiting Chase Tapley. Chase chose to come to San Diego State. I thought we were going to get X also. They're good buddies, and I was very disappointed when he chose Washington State. But we wished him luck. His family got to know us as people. I think that was helpful from our end. When I got the call, I vividly remember, I'm in Detroit or Ontario, across the river when the Final Four was played in Detroit. And I got a call saying that Xavier Thames had his release and they wanted to talk to us. And after I talked to them, they said, we want to come. I didn't have to re-recruit him. He said he wanted to come. And we've taken transfers, but we've taken good transfers who are good people. We've been selective. We've taken transfers, many of whom we knew because we'd recruited them in the past, and X was another one of those. We knew what we were getting in terms of the person. He's developed his game to where he is light years better than he was when he came to us. And that's on X. I said this, he did more to improve himself in that redshirt season than any redshirt I've ever had. And when DJ Gay left in that 10-11 season, they said, what are we going to do for a point guard? We don't have DJ. And X heard people say that. He knew he would be ready, and he has delivered and then some. So very happy for him and obviously happy for us.
Steve, you mentioned right from the start when you found out what bracket you were going to be in, that going to Anaheim and how great that would be to get the 2 wins. You talk about the advantage of playing that close.
You fight all regular season. One, you set a goal. Most of us do. We want to win a conference championship. And we did that in a really good league, a hard-fought conference championship. We went 16-2. Which I thought, no way will anybody go 16-2. And we beat a New Mexico team, and I feel badly that we're both not still playing. They're really, really, really good. So we went through some battles and some wars to get where we are. As a result of that, we got a 4 seed. So we've been in tournaments before where we've been in double-digit seeds, and even when we were a 6 or a 7, whatever we were, we got shipped 3 time zones away. It was as if they wanted to say, who can we move the furthest? We were that team that moved the furthest. So now, as a 4 seed, you feel like you're going to be protected in your own area. We earned that. So we expected after we won the conference that we thought we'd have a really good chance to stay in the West, and we knew Anaheim was the next round. So it was huge doing what we did in the regular season to earn that 4 seed, to now have the opportunity to play where we don't have to worry about airplanes. We get on a bus and we drive an hour and a half or whatever it is to a building we've played in before. So it's great for us.
In front here.
I won't ask you I won't follow up on not having to get on airplanes.
Thank you.
Can you talk about the job you and your staff did in a short turnaround? You really seem to have those guys completely dialed in. I mean, you knew everything they were going to do, and I mean, you just took the nation's leader, one of the best teams in field goal percentage, and held them to 32%.
Not to brag, but and I'll exclude myself. We have as good a coaching staff as there is in the country. A group that doesn't care who gets credit. We got a wonderful group of guys, and we worked hard, all of us. You know, we divvied it up. 2 guys had one team, 2 guys had the other in the Oklahoma-North Dakota State game. But once we found out it was North Dakota State, we all took games and watched. I watched. We all did. And we team taught. We said, okay, what do we need to do? Then I think it's nice that you've got some guys that have been in the business for a while, like Dutch and myself. We call people. We look to who have they played? Who can we call? And I called Tim Miles, who coached at North Dakota State. And you know what he told me? He said, Steve, I love you like a big brother, but I can't tell you one thing about North Dakota State. And I said, I would have been disappointed had you. But he congratulated us for being here, wished us luck. We did the same for him. But we had people that we called that we knew that talked about us. So we were on the phones. A lot of the things were the same. So we said, these are absolutes. These are people that know them, that have played them, that are saying, do this, don't do that, make sure this happens. I think that helped us. And then you can't overload, obviously, in a short turnaround. So we showed the kids. I told them, I said, you're seeing 1/1000th of what we've watched as we show you tape. You know, Josh says 42. I don't know if you pronounce it Bjorklund. Don't pronounce the J, but 42 was a key for us. Don't let him get by you. And then Braun, he's big time good. Don't let him get through you and around you. Make them go over you to shoot balls. That was a theme. Our kids knew how good this team was. This is a good team. This is a team, and I said this before, if you play in a gym, shirts and skins, they could be any team in the country. You know, I know they could be Wisconsin because that's where the all came from. They look like Wisconsin, and they play a little bit like them. Somebody asked me before, who do they remind you of? We didn't play Wisconsin, but they probably remind you a little bit of Wisconsin. They're good. They're physical. They're tough, and they win, and they're veterans. So we worked hard to scout them. They did the same for us. I'm sure of that. The one thing, too, that somebody asked, I think when you're playing with a lead, it's really, really helpful, even with a small lead. I watched this team play when they had leads. Boy, they play with confidence. When you have a lead and the other team's always fighting to catch you, that wears on you a little bit.
Coach, you kind of just touched on it, but a very emotional group of North Dakota State players came in before you guys, and I know you had a chance to talk to Coach Phillips before the game. What do you kind of see for him and then the program moving forward as a team that kind of tries to build itself as a team that will be a contender, a mid-major contender every year from here on out?
When you do what they've done and you get to the tournament and you win in the tournament, that gets everybody's attention. Recruiting is the name of the game. And that will open doors maybe that weren't there for them before to get in the door of other players that will now help their program grow and continue to get where they want to go. I told Saul before the game, I said, you've done a really, really terrific job with this team. And I know you know that, and I know you don't want to say, yeah, I have, but you have. I have a great appreciation for how he's doing the job, what he's doing, and with whom he's doing it. I think they'll continue to be very successful, and this experience will obviously help them. When you're a senior, and they've got a lot of really good ones, it hurts when you know you can't be there. But the nice thing about that, too, they'll come back and tell the new group and the guys returning, you can do what we did, and then do it and do it better. So it hurts. It does. If it doesn't hurt, then you're not going to be here. So, but they have a really good program, and that's what we talk about, having a good program. They got a good program.
Steve, hi, Chris Dufresne, Los Angeles Times. The team in 2011 was supposed to go to Anaheim. I mean, you were the number 2. You had a great team. This team was picked 4th, I think, in preseason. How has this journey been different, or what's the emotion of that?
It really has been different. There were expectations, probably loftier than they needed to be with the team, the 34-3 team. We won 20 in a row, and it went on, and it snowballed. We got a jump start right here in Spokane when we came up and beat Gonzaga in their building and beat them. We played better than they did. And then that's when our players said, hey, we're good. But people thought and expected us to get where we were. I agonized with our team. We were good enough that year to win the national championship. Connecticut beat us. I thought we were better than Connecticut. Sometimes you got to get a little bit lucky. We had 2 technical fouls called on us in that game, and it impacted the flow of the game. But we were good enough to win a national championship. To say that 5 years ago, people would laugh at you. But after that experience, we won it again. But this year, nobody thought we would be what we are, so it was almost like a hall pass. Well, you know, we no longer say a rebuilding year, but they said a bridge year. A nice way of saying a rebuilding year. And wait till next year. Well, we knew we would be good. And I said before, when Josh came, I really felt he could be a huge piece to what we didn't have and really needed. And then we played and won some close games, went to Anaheim. So I don't think there was pressures of expectations, which was good for us. It's harder when you're supposed to win. Then when you win a close game, people are saying, well, what's the matter? This year when we won a close game, it didn't matter who we played. They were patting us on the back and telling us how good we were. So it helped us. It really did help us.
Okay, last question. Right
Colton
here.
Poole, the NDSU Spectrum coach, with that short run right before halftime, what'd you say to your guys to make sure that you kept that lead and keep the underdog quiet?
We talk all the time about how we start the second half, and we got a bit of a theme: score the first basket, get the first basket of the second half, win the first 4-minute segment. We talked about it at New Mexico State, and they came out and hit us first. I didn't get into that. X said he did and said something to it. But you've got to compete for 40 minutes, and we've been a team that's done that for the most part. We've not had a lot of lulls during games, and that allows you to have a chance to be good, and we're good.